Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on Surfy Plays Rebooted. Today I'm going to be showing random people, places in the world how to play Rimworld. Now obviously, as you can see, I do have a couple of DLCs installed. These cost about $14, maybe $10 each. And I'm just waiting to get royalty, so obviously you're not going to have the same experience or background as I'm going to have, so I'm going to try to make it as vanilla as possible, which means we are removing all of these extra mods, except for 4, that's the one we actually need. So now all you gotta do is wait for my game to reload, and so yeah, I'm mostly recording this for a friend on Roblox who wanted to see what Rimworld was like. So we have the 4 main scenarios: Crash Landing, which is the classic experience; the Lost Tribe, which is a little bit harder since you start with less research; the Rich Explorer, which gives you a little more research but you're alone and you have a little less stuff; and Naked Brutality is the hardest, where you start with nothing, one person who's 100% naked. So we're going to start with Crash Landing, and obviously we have 3 AI storytellers. So we're going to start with Crash Landing because it is the most vanilla the game can get. So there are 3, like, almost difficulties, but not difficulties, more like playstyles. We have Cassandra Classic. She pretty much does a sine wave of a difficulty curve. Each sine wave gets harder based off of wealth. So think like, here, I'll even pull out Paint 3D for this. So think of this as your game curve with Cassandra Classic. So you start off with a little bit of difficulty. So she starts off giving you like 1 or 2 raids. So this is the first raid point, and it goes back down, and then you have another raid which is going to be slightly higher in difficulty. And eventually, over time, this difficulty will increase with your wealth until you eventually beat the game. And so by this point, where you're receiving raids, like there are sieges and crazy and all that, by that point you should have the stuff to beat the game. Next, we have Phoebe Chillax. She gives lots of time between disasters, but at high difficulties, she'll hit as hard as anyone. So assume we have the same curve as Cassandra Classic, but then, with Phoebe Chillax, we give her a bit more time between the events, but she can still hit very, very hard. So you get more of a hill curve, and obviously this still does exponentially grow with your wealth. And then we have Randy Random. It doesn't follow rules, you generate random events, and it's pretty much like a random number generator that just generates a bunch of random numbers all at once, and the number that's the highest gets picked. So assume this is like your curve or whatever. So obviously you can have really easy points, and you have impossibly hard points. And eventually you keep getting all of these and all of these until you eventually beat the game with extreme wealth. And so that's how I can explain all 3 of the storytellers. Next, we have our difficulties. Obviously, difficulties determine the difficulty of the game. So you have peaceful. It's quite easy. Major threats are disabled, so assume like humongous sieges or toxic fallouts, like all of that. You can still receive challenges on peaceful. Then you have community builder. It focuses more on building. Threats appear, but they're weaker. And then on adventure story, there's room to grow and thrive. And there's plenty of resources, but it's pretty much dangerous. So think like normal, except with a few tweaks. And we have Strive to Survive, which is pretty much the normal difficulty. Blood and Dust, which is pretty much your semi-hard difficulty. And then of course, we have losing is fun, which is the hardest difficulty and pretty much causes most of my colonies to die. And then we have custom, and I'll go into this in a more advanced video. If you download Rimworld because of this video, that would be awesome. Just make sure if you're gonna make videos on YouTube, put some kind of like credits to me, or no, put credits to Tynan Sylvester. He made the game. And of course you have two different save states. So we have reload and time mode, which means you can save and load the game at any time, which means you can pretty much abuse your save states. So if you save just before you're about to go out on a huge camping or caravan trip, which I'll explain later, and caravan died, you can reload that save and not go out on the caravan trip or go on a different path. And then we have commitment mode, where you can only save when you're quitting the game, which means if everything is permanent, you can just, I mean, you know, it makes a better story. So here are all of our tribes. Obviously, we have our civil tribes. These people are tribes we can trade with. And then we have slightly rougher tribes. And usually you either have to befriend them or just destroy them if you want to trade with them. And so we have the Fierce tribe. And then we have the bad guys, which are the Savage tribe and the Pirate gang. You cannot ally with these people, and you cannot trade with them because they're evil. Then we have Mechanoid hives and Insect Gentlings. Now these are neutral tribes because, these are neutral factions because they interact with all of these other factions as well as ours to attack them. So, they're pretty much gigantic insects. The seed provides what your world will look like. So there's seeds like entrails, credit to that one YouTuber out there I watched in 2018. And then you have like peanuts, Peentus, and then you have Rimworld. If I, you know what? Yeah, let's set Rimworld to our starting seed. Then you can choose the globe coverage, which will help you load your world faster, but you'll get less of the world. So I'm gonna choose 100. I do not recommend doing this, as generating an entire planet can take up to 3 minutes. Like, especially on lower end computers. Like, I have a 3060 graphics card and it still takes super long. Plus we have overall rainfall. This decides how much rain you get. Overall temperature, this decides how cold or hot it is. Population decides how many faction things are on the world. So I'm gonna add one more fierce tribe to this. As you can see, this is a very long waiting time in generating world. Yeah, so this is 100% of a world. Obviously, loading times vary depending on how good of a computer you have. But you usually want to start out in a temperate forest that has large hills. Usually, sometimes, if you get it really good, you can get one on a river. That's amazing. But that's quite difficult. Large hills on a river. Actually, I'm not sure it's possible. Now, you can mod this game as I showed earlier, but I do not recommend doing it on your first few playthroughs. And then obviously you have your characters, you can randomize them and randomize them and randomize them. So you get someone maybe somewhat good. So this is Caitlin Avid. This is a lot of stuff. I'll go over this in advanced Rimworld. So this shows their gender, their age, and their faction, which means, well, if this is the starting screen, since this is the starting screen, they start as your faction. this shows their childhood, which affects their skills. If you look in the text box here, it's their adulthood, which also affects their skills. And sometimes you can disable skills with this, which means this woman can't do shooting or melee, which means she's incapable of violence. And then you have your traits, and these traits can get kind of mature at times. So we have Optimist, which means she always has +6 mood. That's amazing. We have Quick Sleeper, which means her rest rate multiplier is +50%, which means she needs less sleep. And then we have Cannibal. Now, she does get a minor mood debuff when she doesn't eat human meat. And she gets a huge mood buff when she eats raw human meat. That's just one problem. Next we have our skills. So let's see our skills. So she's incapable of shooting due to charity worker. She's incapable of melee due to charity worker. She has level 4 construction with passion. So I'll go further into passions later in the series of Rimworld tutorials or whatever. She has 2 mining and 2 cooking, which is kind of good because that way she'll level a bit more. She has 5 plants, which gives her passion which sets her base value to 100%. She has 3 animals and 4 crafting with passion, 0 artistic, 2 medical, and 10 social. Because you should be able to trade very well with this one. And 0 intellectual. So I'm gonna keep her, and we can go on to our next. Oh yeah, I forgot. So these are relations. Now, some of the people, like Yakov, Matthews, they can be in your group. So great grandfather Paul Paulson, grandfather Tensi DK Maladi, so father Paul Paulson. Dang. Hold up. Hold up. Assuming Paul is 44 and DK is 39, that means Paul was 5 when DK was born. And assuming DK is 39 and Yakov is 49 and he's his son. Yakov is older than his dad. Assuming Yakov is 49 and Caitlin is 26. Okay, this is getting kind of weird, so I'm gonna have to randomize it a bit. Okay, that just removed like a ton of relations. Anyways, relations give you opinions. So like all of that, I'm gonna find someone with good stuff. If you have someone with ascetic and jealous, I'm pretty sure that's not possible because they conflict, but if you have someone with ascetic and jealous, then I don't recommend giving them a small room and everyone else a big room. I recommend giving everyone a medium room, because otherwise she'll be jealous and blah blah blah, all that. Oh my gosh. Felsmel. Great grandfather was the guy who was just here. That's crazy. Which means this 26, 41. How does that work? I'm confused. Well, he was a mid-world geek, army scientist, he was a jogger. I'll just skip through all of this. Get some of these good ones. I'm trying to get some. Jesus. Pyromaniac and a torturer. Oh my god. This person is insane. Incapable of firefighting due to firefighter. Oh, medical assistant. Okay, so he was treating burn wounds and that made him afraid of fire. So that means he's not Pyromaniac with a hidden Pyromaniac trait, which is amazing. 0 shooting, 2 melee, 7 construction, 4 mining, 0 cooking, 0 plants, 5 animal, 6 crafting, 1 artistic, 9 metal, 4 social, 0 intellectual. So our team skills are 18 intellectual and 0 shooting, which sucks, but we're just gonna have to deal with it and start the game. So now that I'm done with the menu, it's time to show you what the actual game looks like. Now this might be a bit overwhelming for now, so we're just gonna go around and spot out things that you should not do or go to when you spawn in a new world. First of all, if you see a building like this, do not deconstruct the walls until your pawns have good guns, armor, and melee weapons, because they can either be filled with overpowered insects with railguns, cryosleep caskets that instantly open, that are filled with people who are not very nice, that have guns and armor that can deflect bullets perfectly. And I'm pretty sure that's it, actually. Then we have these things. So these are spellipedes, mega spiders, and mega scarabs. But you don't want to go to these hives, because this is where the insects hang out. And they have a lot of health. You don't want to go there. Alright, let me see if I can spot out anything else you don't want to do. Oh yeah, I don't recommend hunting the mega sloths, because those things are just crazy. And also, usually spawn with a... Yeah, so you usually spawn with a pet. So, our pet is Makoto the iguana. You want to get a house for your people as fast as possible if your pet isn't a predatory pet. Because otherwise, it's going to get hunted. Now, your UI might look a bit different to mine depending on when you're seeing this, because updates can change the UI. But we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 main tabs. So we're going to start with the first tab, Architect. This tab has 11 categories. So we have orders, cancel, just like say I want to place down a wall. You're like, oh no, I placed down 2 walls instead of 1. You can just select the wall with the cancel tool, and then right click to select the cancel tool. Then we have deconstruct. So assuming I already have a wall down, I will select the deconstruct on it. Okay, let me find a ship chunk actually, because you can deconstruct it. Here, let's do this. So I will select the wall that I want to deconstruct, and it will send a notification to all 3 of my pawns. Usually the best architect will deconstruct it, but sometimes that can change depending on if someone's in the hospital. Then we have mine, so like obviously you have rock, you can mine it. And you can pretty much mine anything as long as it's connected to as long as your pawns can reach it. Then we have chop wood. So you just select a tree or designate an area for you to chop trees. And that's pretty much it. Then we have cut plants. So you just select that on like pretty much any plant out in the wild, and they'll cut it down. If it yields a specific resource, it will be harvested. But then we have harvest, which just sets the plant back to its old growth state. So like this plant over here, you select harvest on it, and they'll harvest it, and it'll set it back to its earliest growth state, which is like here. Then we have hunt. So it's this little bow and arrow icon. Hotkey is O. I'm starting to use hotkeys now. That's cool. And so you just select hunt on any animal that you think is weak enough to be hunted, and it'll hunt. And you can still use hunt on this. Then we have slaughter. Now slaughter is almost the same as hunt, except for The animal doesn't run away at first. You don't shoot it, and you can only do it on tame animals. So say I want to slaughter the iguana because he ate my marijuana, but that's not really what we need right now. Then we have tame. So let me go back and select the same guinea pig. Say I want to tame a guinea pig. I select it with tame, and then I deselect it if I didn't want to tame that specific guinea pig. Then I have haul things, which will you can pretty much like select items to be hauled that aren't normally hauled automatically, so like rock chunks and all that. Then we have allow. So basically, if I find a forbidden item, which is an item that your colonist can't naturally pick up like this, if I select allow on it, it will allow it. But you can also just select all the items you want to do and press F to allow and forbid it. Forbid the items from being used. That's one of the hotkeys for it if you look. And we have claim. So say you find one of these abandoned structures, which are completely safe. There's no bad guy spawns here. You can just select claim. Now you can't unclaim an item, but it pretty much means that your colonists will repair all of these things. Then we have smooth surface. So assuming I just want to smooth these 4 tiles, I'll smooth it, and it changes the texture. And you can still prevent them from smoothing it while they're doing it halfway through by just deselecting. Then we have paint building, but you can only do this with when you get what is it? You know, no, I'll go into the plants names later, but basically you can paint stuff and then you can remove things from paint screen. Then we have planning, and usually not many people use this, but you can kind of use it to plan out like a base. I don't recommend making rooms this big for your colonists unless you're like really late game, but plan pretty much allows you to plan, and you can't deselect it. You can't cancel a plan. You have to use remove plans. Now onto the zone tab. The zone tab also has cancel and deconstruct, but what's all this? Are these new zones? Our first zone is the stockpile zone. So if you put an item in a stockpile zone, that item will be registered into your colony's inventory. As you can see, I don't really have it right now, but if I just look, it takes a bit to register, but now it shows that we have 50 now it shows that we have 50 packaged survival meals in our inventory. Now when you remove the stockpile zone, eventually it does go out of your inventory. And so you can only trade with people what you have in your inventory, so you can only trade with people what you have in stockpile zones. Next, we have dumping stockpile zones. Usually you want to put this on the outside of a mountain, a little bit far from your home, but not too far because the trip takes long. And then you can haul these disgusting stones out of here. And they'll eventually, I think, decompose or just stay there forever. You can just pretty much move stones out of the way by putting them into the dumping stockpile zones. Next, we have one of the most important zones for late game food cultivation, growing zones. Now this growing zone is usually the size of the growing zones I like to make, 4x7. And while we're here, actually, I will go through all the things for zones, including a growing zone specifically. So, you can rename a zone, so like rice field. You can hide the zone and unhide the zone. You can expand the zone. You can shrink the zone. You can delete the zone, which I won't do just yet. And then you can determine the plants that people will grow in your zone. So you can change it to different plants that grow better in different conditions. So you have corn plant, hay grass, potato plant, rice plant, strawberry. Rice plant and potato plant grow the best. Potato plant takes the takes any like bad soil. Actually, it grows better in bad soil. Rice plant takes the shortest amount of time to grow. Strawberry heel root can be used for medicine. So this is wild heel root. This is domesticated heel root. Sorry, I'm just suffering from a bit of a cold here. Then you have dandelions, daylilies, roses, cotton plants, which you can use. And no, I don't mean that kind of cotton picking. Oh my god. Not trying to get demonetized here. Jeez. So cotton plants can be turned into cloth, which you can use to create clothing. Then we have hop plants, which you can eventually later game you can brew into alcohol and sell that. Psychoid plants are cocaine in a leaf form. Then we have smoke leaf plants, which is pretty much cigarette leaves, marijuana, you know. Then we have tinctoria, which is the plant they use to paint. Then we can disable sowing if we don't want to plant plants in that specific area due to blight. Then we can do allow cutting, which will basically they won't cut plants in this zone. They'll just plant plants. And so I'm going to delete the zone now. And now we're going to go to shrink zones, shrink zones. Expand home area. Now you see, when I select this, you can see these big blue blobs that are on my screen. Actually, hold up. Let me make sure I'm not... Oh, I got disconnected. Dang it. Okay, that sucks. Well. You can expand your home area. You can build stuff and put out fires in this home area. So when there's a big wildfire that's about to reach my house, I like to expand my home area like onto the fire and put it out, and then shrink my home area with clear home area tool. Home area is quite important, as you can't do some things outside of the home area. And then we have a loud area. It's pretty much a span home area except for different areas. So like, this is area 1, and we have clear a loud area. Here's area 1. Obviously, you can create new areas and go into manage area, click new area, but we'll go into that sometime later. Then we have build roof area. It just designates a place for your colonists to build a roof. We have remove roof area and ignore roof area. Remove roof area just selects anywhere with a roof and removes it. Ignore roof area just will ignore roofs, will not do roofs at all. And then we have snow removal area, which will pretty much just, when it gets really cold out for your colonists, it'll just remove the snow. They'll remove the snow. The clear snow removal area will just stop them from removing the snow. Now, onto the structure tab. Now, obviously, as you research later into the game, you'll get many more structures that you can build, but these are the ones that you start out with when you start out with crash landed scenario. So you have your wooden wall, and the best part about this is you can change the material to pretty much any material you have on hand. I don't recommend making a silver wall though, as silver is the currency for this game. Then you have your doors, same thing except for doors. Fences, which can be used to enclose animals, and only to enclose animals, not for decoration, because people can walk through fences. And it only takes one wood to make a fence though. Then you have fence gates, which is important for an animal pen. You have columns, which hold up roof areas. So you see this little circle area around the column. That's the area that will be held up by the column. Then we have animal flaps. It pretty much just insulates heat for the winter. Then you have bridges. I selected a place with a creek specific for this. You can build a bridge over shallow water, and it'll just allow your colonists to walk past. I do not recommend building on bridges though, as they're easily knocked down. Now under the protection tab, obviously cancel and deconstruct are still there, but now we have spots. So you see the square circle below it. Now, the circle is always the spot that your colonist has to stand in to interact with it. So assuming I want to place my crafting spot facing towards this mountain, into this mountain. I can't place it here because that would block the interaction spot. So place that there, and now it's time to micromanage a bit more and go into bills. Tool cabinets are something we'll work on later, but you can smash mechanoids, make veils, make tribalware, make a club, make a knife, short bow, smoke leaf joints. And all of this requires a bit of crafting skill. But then if we just go back into here and select the butcher spot, we can add a bill. We can butcher a creature or make kibble. Now, neither of these spots are the most refined versions of themselves. So let's go on to the butcher table, which is different from the butcher spot. Now you see the chair, that's also the interaction spot, but you can put a chair there to make it like more comfortable while the person is butchering. But pretty much when it's done, it'll have the same butcher properties, but it'll be just a bit cleaner. Then you have electric and fueled stove, which are both the same thing, except an electric stove cooks a bit faster, but it needs electricity, and a fueled stove cooks a bit slower, but it only takes wood, so you don't need to hook it up to electricity. Then we have the nutrient paste dispenser. I wouldn't worry about this until you're like really late game, but all it does is you place these hoppers on the back, and you put food into the hoppers, and it turns it into these nutrient paste meals in case you can't really butcher at the moment. Then we have the stone cutter's table, so you can take these useless, disgusting stones and you turn them into bricks at the stone cutter's table. You can get like 75 bricks for like 3 stones, I think. And then you have the electric smelter, which you just put chunks of, like, here, see this slag chunk? If you put it into this smelter, it'll turn it into steel. But that's also very late game. In fact, I haven't used it yet. And you have your hand and electric tailor bench. Same thing again. They use bills as well. Except the electric tail bench requires electricity, and the hand tailor bench doesn't require anything, but it takes a very long time. So pretty much think about this, like assuming so you plant your cotton plants, right, and you harvest them, you craft them into cloth, or no, you harvest cloth from the cotton plants, and you take the cotton, and you take the cloth, and you make a bill over here to make a shirt, and the colonists will make a shirt automatically when they have enough cloth for it. Then we have the simple research bench. It unlocks a lot of stuff. This is the research tab. So I'll go into the research tab later, after I've taught you some more basic stuff. But then we have the art bench. This is for when you're so posh and you need art around your area. Then we have a crematorium. It's just exactly what you think it is. It burns dead people until they don't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure you can get the ashes, or urns and whatever, but I haven't done it before. Now let's go into the furniture tab. We have the plant pot, torch lamp, and then I'll skip a few of these because they kind of come in like a set. But I'll explain every single one of these. So. Alright, so you have your wooden plant pot, which you just put plants in it. You have a torch lamp, which is a good lamp before you have electricity, but I'm pretty sure it can set things on fire. But you can use it to produce a small amount of heat, not that much heat if you put it indoors though. Then we have the standing lamp and sun lamp, which are both lamps. The sun lamp is used for when you're growing plants inside the cave. Got art mushrooms, specifically not mushrooms. And the standing lamp is just a normal, it's pretty much a torch lamp, except it needs electricity and doesn't produce heat, and it's a lot brighter. But they both need electricity, which you can get from a generator. I'll tell you more about that later. Then you have your shelves. They're pretty much like, if you think chests in Minecraft, they can only hold one stack of items per square, per tile. So this is a single shelf. It can hold like these 10 meals, and this is a double shelf which can hold 20 meals. Then we have animal sleeping spot. It's pretty much like the most primitive version of an animal bed. Then you have a wooden animal sleeping box, which can it's just pretty much like an upgrade from this and a downgrade from the actual animal bed. And I'm using this one as a placeholder for the actual animal bed, which requires cloth and I have to currently not place it down. It fits any animal and it's the best, highest quality. Then we have wooden stool. Think of it as a chair, but less, and a wooden dining chair, which provides some comfort, but not the most. And then we have the armchair, which is the comfiest chair, but costs a ton, and, well, I don't think it's worth the 110 cloth for a chair. Then we have wooden tables. So we have 1x2, which means 6 people here, 2 meals, 2x2, which means 8 people here, 4 meals, 2x4, which means 12 people here, and 8 meals, and 3x3, which means you can fit 12 people here again, and also 8 meals, surprisingly, because you can't put a meal in the middle of the table, I don't think. Now let's go into the more complicated things. Beds. So I'm going to place down all the beds here. So here we have all our beds. So we have our sleeping spot, which is pretty much just a spot that your colonists will lie on the ground so they don't sleep outside and get mauled by a tiger. Double sleeping spot, which means if you have 2 really poor people who are in love with each other, you can give them a double bed. Then we have a normal bed, which you can make out of pretty much any material, and it's like comfy. Then you have a wooden double bed, which is an two upper middle class people who are in love have a bed. Then we have your wooden royal bed, which is a double bed no matter what, which means you can have 2 people who are in royalty sleep on it, or just one really, really rich person, and it costs gold for it. Then I have placeholders for the bedroll and double bedroll. So the bedroll is for traveling. You can easily install and uninstall it. It's super light. You can use them while traveling for better sleep, and then the double bedroll is pretty much the same as the double sleeping spot and double bed. Next, let's talk about bed buffs. Yes, that is I literally just said bed buffs. So, a bed can have a few things. If you put an end table next to your bed, it'll give a small comfort boost. Then you put a dresser next to the bed. I like to put my dresser like here, and you'll get another comfort boost. Now that's pretty much all you can put next to a bed to give it a comfort boost, besides making a better bed. Because the quality of beds, there's construction quality, but I'll go further into that in a complicated video, advanced video. Now let's go into the power tab. So you have cancel and deconstruct. Then we have power. Now, already you start off with all the really power generators you need. And you have your switch and your conduits. And your waterproof conduits, which is just shallow water. But a wood-fired generator only requires wood to work. Chem fuel generator. Think of chem fuel as gasoline. Really, really expensive when you buy it, but like when you make it, it's just free, I think. But that's a chem fuel refinery thing, which you don't get until you research it. And then you had power switch that allow you to turn it on and off, and your wind turbine, which generates power from wind in case one of your generators blows out and you have to repair it. You need a backup power source. Now, obviously, there are more power things, like say the battery, which will store your power. Solar panels, which unlocks solar panels. Watermill generators, which you put it in water and it makes power from water. And geothermal power, which is the best form of power. Place it on top of one of these steam geysers, and it'll just create power from the steam. Onto the security tab. Now this one is a bit more confusing because depending on what version of Rimworld you play on, the materials to make stuff for this tab can be a lot different, and you won't have barricades. So sandbags require 5 cloth. So I'm just gonna put a little plan here for all 3 of the things. I'll put a plan there for the barricade or sandbag. So sandbags are ugly, but they provide very good cover when you have your barricade, which has the same generational thing as like a wooden wall. Works like that kind of. And you have your wooden spike trap. It's there's like a 50% chance of injuring someone, then 25% chance of making them get knocked down, and then 12.5% chance of them dying, and the other 12.5 is the chance that they just don't get hit at all. But yeah, there's a lot more security that goes into this. Like, if we go into here, you can see things like mortars, turrets, foam turrets, just fire extinguishers, auto cannons, uranium slug turrets, rocket swarm launchers. Some of these are actually brand new compared to old Rimworld. So let's move on to the miscellaneous tab. This is just for things that you can't really assign to a specific spot. So you have your marriage spot. This is where your two pawns will get married. Party spot, which is where people will throw parties. Caravan hitching spot, which will allow you to form a caravan faster, kind of. Graves, a sarcophagus, which is a phantom grave that's outside of the ground. Egg box, so egg-laying animals will lay eggs in the box. Pen marker, which you can put on a fence, I think, and it'll mark the pen for the animals. You have tool cabinet, and you can use the tool cabinet to boost work speed when placed next to a workbench, and one workbench can use up to 2 tool cabinets. Then you have your large and grand stele. You basically just write a bunch of garbage on it for no reason, and it just stays there. Or you could sell it, I guess. Then you have your floors. You can remove a floor. So assuming you have a floor down, you can remove it, and the floor will eventually get deconstructed. Then we have smooth surface again, which is the same thing as I showed you back in orders. Paint floor, which was back in orders as well. Remove floor paint, which will just same as orders. And we have the wood floor, which requires wood. Straw matting, which requires hay, which you have to grow. Concrete, which requires steel. Paved tile, which requires twice as much steel as concrete. Sandstone tiles and sandstone flagstone. All of these have their own unique textures you can see here, and they all have their own biome blending as well. Then you have recreation. Got your horseshoes pin, got your chest, got your poker table, got your billiards table. Absolutely humongous. each of these provide their own form of recreation. So as you can see, recreation variety. So there is up to, I think that's 9 recreational skills. You can do solitary relaxation, social interaction, dexterity play, cerebral play, television watching, telescope study, music, chemical consumption, and food consumption. Usually you need 3 different kinds of recreation, so most people at the beginning of the game put a horseshoes pin or a chess table. Then let's move on to temperature. This is quite useful when you get into the colder or warmer months. So say you spawn in a very cold biome, you want to put down a campfire, or later in the game you want to put down a heater. A vent will just regulate temperatures between 2 rooms. A cooler will output cold air on one side and hot air on the other. A passive cooler is just one of those, except it takes wood, and that's pretty much all of that. The ship tab is only unlocked once you research some of this stuff, so all of this takes a very long time to research. So now that we're done with the architect tab, let's go into the work tab. So as you can see, we have all these skills: firefight, patient, doctor, bed rest, basic, warden, handle, cook, hunt, construct, grow, mine, plant, cut, smith, tailor, art, craft, haul, clean, and research. So if I just turn on manual priorities, you can set priorities. Now you want to set like some skills like growing to everybody so that they can all learn it. You don't want to assign crafting to specific people because they can get really bad items or just fail completely. Alright, onto the schedule tab. Now that was quite a short tab, can you believe it? So you have 4 main things. You have anything, which will just pretty much say, hey colonists, do anything. Then you have your work, which will make your colonists kind of almost be forced to do work. And then you have your recreation, which will just make them do recreation. And you have sleep, which will force them to be asleep. You don't have to force them to be asleep, because they'll just fall asleep on their own time and all that. Then we have allowed areas, unrestricted, home, area 1. So this will select if your colonists are in specific areas. So say there's a huge raid going on, or there's a mad animal with scaria, which will cause your colonists to die if they get it. You want to set them into a home area, or like a specific area inside a building, which is annoying. Then we have a sign. This one is a bit more complicated. Even I haven't completely gotten it yet, so I'll explain it a bit more in the more advanced video. We have animals, so these are all our tamed animals. You can set it to sterilized to prevent it from having babies. You can slaughter it, and if you don't want to just slaughter it using the tool, then you can release it out to the wild. You can select its medical care. You can set it to allowed area as well. You can add areas, auto slaughter. I don't recommend doing that because it's kind of confusing. Then we have wildlife. Now, this might be a bit overwhelming to look at, and at first it actually is. But it pretty much shows the most powerful animal to the least powerful animal in the world. So your mega sloth is usually the most powerful. You go down, you got your squirrels, the least powerful. Now you can see their life stage, see if they're a child or an adult, and you can see their gender here. As you can see, there are only 2 genders. You can mark them to be hunted, and you can see the chance that they will attack back when they harm, so they will get revenge. You can check it to tame the animal, and this is the chance that the creature will attack when it fails. And this just shows if the creature is predatory. And depending on how big it is, that can mean they hunt people. Now, onto the research tab. I'll explain that in the advanced video. Quests. Throughout the game, you'll receive quests, which you can complete for rewards that include money, bionics, prosthetics, sometimes just like food or medical supplies, pretty much anything. And then some quests you can use to beat the game. So like, if you have the royalty DLC, there's a quest where you gotta like take care of a person, and they'll give you some kind of like weird neuro linking thing, and it'll just make your if you get a pretty high psychological connection with one character, you can request for a thing to pick you up and take you to a different planet or whatever. Like request for someone to take you to a ship. And there's another quest where if you don't have any DLC, some kind of weird robot dude says that there's a dormant ship that you can use to get off the planet very, very far away, usually on the other side of the world, depending on how much of the world you generate. And if you go there, you have to wait for 30 days, and the ship will start, and then you can get out of the airport. You'll have to fight raids. And it's called Ship to the Stars. So these are the available quests, which means the quests you can take. Active quests, which means quests you already have going. And historical quests, which are quests you already have taken, or quests you didn't take that you want to see. Now onto the world. Now this is what I call overwhelming when I say overwhelming. This is just madness. If you can spot the colony within the first 4 rotations, you're insane. But anyways, as you can see, we have these nice good tribes near us and a bad tribe, which we can take out. So if we want to form a caravan, we can set waypoints. And we can send our people and an animal. And then we can send them with certain items and food, supplies, like food and medicine. And you can zoom in on the area. And if you have a caravan with everyone in it, and you want to move to a different area due to something, you can abandon it. And then if you form a caravan and you move to a new spot, you can set up a new camp. But that is very, very unlikely, and I do not recommend doing it, because I set my maximum number of colonies to 2 in case I want to have a bit of a challenge, or I just have a too overcrowded colony. But I don't recommend having multiple colonies for your first game, as it takes like twice as much micromanaging, and if you get a raid on both colonies, you have to set up all of your stuff all at once. It's really overwhelming. Then you have your fierce tribes, which will send you raids, but you can trade with them. So you can trade or fight bad guys and blah blah blah, all that. And now we're done with the world tab. So let's go on history. This shows your total wealth, your wealth from items, your wealth for buildings, and your wealth for creatures. You can select the last 30 days, last 100 days, last 300 days, and all. Go to messages, which the messages will get sent. So assuming you get these big things like quest offers or people calling out for help who are willing to join your colony, they will show your messages here. Statistics, so this will show everything that has been going, so I'll actually be able to see how long I've been recording on this, plus 2 minutes. Plus, like, what, 10 minutes? Hold on, let me see how long I've been recording. I've been recording for almost an hour now, that's amazing. Well, so this will show your map, items in this map, your buildings in this map, people, animals in this map, major threats and enemy raids that have been taken, damage taken in this map, colonists that have been killed. Now, longer running colonies, like 3 years, 5 years, can have these numbers reach like 3 digits almost. Colonists launched into space is what happens if you leave some colonists behind when you beat the game with certain colonists, and you can continue playing with this number increasing by how many colonists you launch into space. Then we have factions. You can see all your faction relations and who they're enemies of. So if you make friends with this person, then the people they're enemies with will probably not like that. So, hostile, as you can see, there is no number below it because these people will never improve their relations with you, and you can't improve your relations with them. Then when they say hostile with a negative number below it, you can improve your relations with them. And when they say neutral with 0, that means you can trade with them and it'll be a lot easier to gain friendship. Alright, then you have all this. You can save, you can load your game, you can view your scenario, you can options. I don't recommend playing around with that. You can quit to the main menu, and you can quit to out of the game, which means it'll just close the game window. So I'm going to take us to our first raid and show you what to do, and then I think I'm going to stop there, because this video is already almost an hour long. So let's get to building our colonist houses. Alright, oh yeah, I forgot to do this. So, these show your current events that need to be fixed. So, need of recreational variety. So that means I don't have enough recreation, which means I will go into my recreation tab and place down a wooden horseshoe spin. If you see these little, like, the little rectangles, those are the interaction spots. You want to have at least one of those available. And so, once this is built, this will go away. We need colonist beds. That'll go away once we have this built, these beds built. And the hunters lack ranged weapons, so I'm gonna give fell smell. Hold on. Who has better melee? This guy has better melee. So I'm gonna give him the knife, and I'm gonna give this guy the bolt action rifle. Now there are quality of life mods that I do recommend you using, like simple sidearms and run and gun, if you wanna have like easier combat experience. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make in Rimworld is thinking that this is just a colony builder and nothing else. Because if I go into my character, as you can see, we have a lot more things than we think. So we can draft someone, and this will immediately make them stop everything that they're doing and go wherever you need. So right click when someone, while you're selecting someone who's drafted, they'll go to the spot where you right click. Then you have view. This is mostly explained in the advanced, but this will show their apparel and what they have in their inventory. So this lady's been sneak and packaged survival meals. This is a social, so you can see people's relationships with them. You can see also their social interactions. Now their bio, I already showed you that. Here's their needs. Now you have to keep all these needs as high as possible without wasting resources. So, their food constantly goes down, their sleep constantly goes down, their recreation and constantly goes down. And their mood goes down depending on if someone's like in a bad mood, like something really bad happens, like one of their colonists dies. But this arrow shows exactly what someone's mood is going to reach sometime soon. And if their mood reaches like super high, they'll get like what is it? Let me see. I'm trying to think. They'll get like inspirations, and if the lower their mood gets, the higher chance they have of breaking, suffering a mental break. There's minor, major, and extreme breaks. I don't recommend letting it get past major, because they can go on a murder spree or just literally leave the colony. That's one of the things you can do. So I recommend keeping your mood up. And so food, just think about it. So their normal nutritional maximum is 1, and that's when they function the best. And as their food goes down, they'll receive status effects in their health tab, which I will tell you about later, where like they won't be able to work as good, or they'll get a mood debuff. So hungry, ravenously hungry, starving, dying, malnourished, severely malnourished, all that. So sleep, the less sleep someone has, they'll just fall asleep on the spot if it's at 0. And the less sleep someone has, they'll not work as good. That's pretty much the best way I can explain sleep. Then we have recreation. Someone doesn't get good enough recreation, their mood will start to fall really low, and eventually, like, stuff like eating without a table will lead to them killing everyone and then leaving the colony because all the colonists died. Beauty and comfort are both kind of useless at the moment, but once you get later into the game and your very low expectations wear off, beauty and comfort will be kind of important, as they will give you mood buffs, and the colonists will get sad from smaller things. Like, so right now there's not really anything that can make the colonists sad, but say really late into the game when my wealth is in the millions and everyone has sky high expectations, like say they don't have a good bed, they'll get sad. Then outdoors just need to be outdoors. Then we have health. Now, the health tab is really complicated, so I'm gonna wait until our first raid and see if anyone gets injured that I can select their health tab on, and I'll talk to you more about this soon. And then I'll tell you all about these in the advanced video. But you can turn on self 10, which I recommend doing with everyone who has medical skills. And then so pain, this shows their functioning, consciousness. All of this can be affected by consciousness, pain, and moving. And also blood pumping and filtration. All that can be affected by those. And the lower these are, the less effectiveness they'll have. So then you can select different things. So you have all of these. Look at this. If you just select. So this is usually what I like to select. And then if you go into operations, you can harvest things. You can also prevent carcinomas from spreading throughout the body or getting worse. You can also just kill or anesthetize or install a denture. There's a lot of different medical things you can do for now, but that's kind of useless. So let's deselect everyone and just get to work on the stuff. Make these rooms as comfortable as possible so it doesn't look like I'm a ruthless torturer, which I kind of am if you think about it, because I love seeing these colonists fight. Oh, I have to get these people chopped down quick. Oh, no. Forbid. Actually deconstruct. We'll need some of this. So if people aren't doing what you want them to do, you can select them and draft and undraft. It's like turning a computer off and on again. It's actually really cool. Well, let's get some of this stuff done a bit faster, because we need to chop down these trees to make the house. The best thing about Rimworld is you can kind of make your own 3x speed time lapse, which is really awesome. I love that I just have a call this named Caitlin Holmes Fellsmell. Or Caitlin Home and Fellsmell. Fellsmell. Alright, now night one is over. Usually, you get a little notification saying a raid is gonna happen at around day 3, I think, and I think the earliest I've ever gotten a raid was day 3, the same day that I got the notification. Alright, you know what? Fjellschmell. I'm gonna give you that. So I'm just gonna quickly make a bit of a storage area here. And the storage area needs to be cooled because we're going to be storing our food in here, which is very important because the food can go rotten. There is a rotting and decomposing system in this game, especially in the newer versions with biotech. Decomposing, rotting flesh can actually cause diseases, which is an amazing mechanic. I mean, not amazing for the puns, but amazing as in like great game design. I'm just gonna wait a bit longer for these colonists to finish building. Alright, so we've just finished our stockpile zone. Oh yeah, I forgot to change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Sorry, just give me 1 second. 297. Who uses Kelvin? Alright, so I'm just kind of just making everything look a bit better. Yeah, I'm gonna set it to core, just in case. Oh, you shouldn't be seeing that, because if you did that, you'd be able to calculate my exact time zone. Controls... As you can see, I'm recording this on 1080p for all you YouTube butt cracks. I like to set my screen shake intensity a bit higher. It gives me a more immersive experience. I don't like to have it run in the background, and development mode is pretty much like debug mode. It's just really messed up. Don't do it. It's pretty much like cheating. It is cheating. It's cheating. You're cheating. Don't cheat. Come want to put a bit of warm. Alright, day 2 has been complete. Day 1 was literally an hour long because I had to explain everything to you guys, but that's the price that you gotta pay, I guess. Let's set up our first growing zone somewhere with really nice fertile ground. I actually encourage getting wildfires at least once because they can improve the quality of your soil. So I usually like to place 3 growing zones. In one, I usually place heel root. In another, I like to plant. Where is it? Oh yeah, cotton. Heel root, cotton, and potatoes. Now let's make a quick butchering room. I do recommend keeping your butcher's room clean, because otherwise, you will get tainted meals, which can be extremely dangerous to ingest. They can cause food poisoning, is what I'm trying to say. Now, you could create straw matting, or you can... Oh, hold on. I'm trying to find one that accepts the low filth, but I guess I just have to research it. Oh! It looks like we have someone who's willing to trade, so we're gonna let him approach our colony. I'm gonna have Caitlin trade with him since we have our sugar. Or silver. So it doesn't look like he has really anything we want to get off him, except for... Nope. That costs way too much. We're gonna give him the pants, though. Pants give us a ton, and then we can exactly take that. Actually, I'm surprised the pants and 4 package survival meals are the same. But then again, he's selling them for nearly double the amount we're willing to take. Yeah, we'll just sell you the pants, I guess. No. No, you know what? No. That's it. Felix! You have a gun. What? I can't. He has a gun. He has a gun. And look at his melee. I can't. Should have sold you the knife. You know what, Caitlin, let's see if we can sell him the knife and buy the gun off of him. Okay, cancel. I guess we can't buy the gun off him. Don't want to knock him down, so we're going to have to somehow get him to get injured or something. Nah, not worth it. I'm just gonna quickly harvest this heel root. Watch this. It takes a bit to harvest certain plants. When you harvest them... Did you just botch the harvest? Oh! Oh! Oh. Oh. Oh, you left components. That's awesome. We're gonna need those. I'm just gonna quickly create an outdoor sandstone tile. just gotta find some sandstone. It's actually quite hard to find. Naturally. Alright, that's uranium. You don't have to worry about that just yet. Spawn in the area. Okay, there's some sandstone bricks over here, I guess, that I can deconstruct. I'm gonna find all the sandstone brick walls and just deconstruct them. Just to make sure I'm gonna allow those. Come on. Sandstone buildings. Okay, that is a problem. Look at these wonderful sandstone floors! They look awesome. I guess I could place down some granite tiles in here. Oh god, no. Horn fjell smell. Oh, I thought his name was Hone, not Horn. Bam. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there, Horn. Get out of there, Horn. Oh god. Okay, how bad is it? Okay, it's not that bad. He's only dying in 11 hours. If you didn't know, that's not that bad. Well, crap. Oh god. I have to send out fuel. No, no, don't go up, don't go up. Yep, just... Oh god, it's killing him! Shoot the damn links! Fuel smell, I swear to god! Horn is dead. Horn is dead. Because you didn't shoot the links, Fiel Smell. Jesus Christ. Oh. Stupid ass. Well, we've already lost some of our colonists. It's time to— oh my god! Why? This guinea pig is insane! I have to build a graveyard. I'm gonna place the grave right here. Stop hauling the blocks. Please, just put them in the grave. Horn died because he was a fat ass. That's right, shoot the guinea pig to death. And go give— go give Horn— oh god, why'd you put him in the dumping stockpile zone? Jesus Christ. Just bury him! Berry Horn. Fell smell. Feel smell. God, that was mainly my fault. god, Caitlin's gonna butcher the dead lynx that killed Fjellsmell. I can't believe this. Rest in peace, Horn. Now we just have to name the colony Caitlin Fjellsmell. Ugh. I have now been recording for an hour and 20 minutes and we still haven't gotten a raid. I'm beginning to become slightly annoyed at this. Just a little bit. Not that much. That's right. Wait, Panther bird? Oh, it's a lynx. Thought a lynx was like a warg, like a pig dog. How you buy a box? Dude. Alright, you should be able to cook 3 simple meals. Congratulations, beans. Alright, our faction should be called Horn. Settlement should be called Foul Smell Fjellsmell. So this specific area is going to become very, very hot soon. This toe has just been self-tamed. Ew! I'm gonna quickly place down a wood-fired generator. Just quickly make some mining warriors. Beans. Alright, just gotta... Oh, cool. I just gotta set that to 28 degrees. Why don't we refuel the wood-fired generator instead? So now in here it will eventually get colder and colder. Eventually. Oh god, it's already gone out. Well guys, I think I'm just gonna cover raids in the next video because I have now been recording for an hour and 24 minutes. So thanks for watching, and please just, if you want to play this game, just like, if you want to play this game, keep in mind that I've been recording for an hour and 30 minutes and we're on day 3. So yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.